Welcome back. Honestman here with more Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen. At the conclusion of last episode, I created my main pawn, which is this handsome boy over here with his nice dunce cap on. I mean, I guess maybe he's not that handsome. It didn't quite turn out the way I'd hoped, but not terrible. I also picked up an additional pawn here, Lucy, summoned her from the void. Kudos to whoever created her. She's going to be quite powerful, I think. And I still have Rook kicking around over here. He's going to get replaced really quick. I feel like I just need one more level to get some more pawn summoning options. But he'll make do for just a little bit longer. In other news, I did complete the training at the encampment, which is really simple. And then I returned to our starting town here and met Madeleine. She needed an escort over to the encampment, so I took her over there. She's going to ask for 1,000 gold to assist with her traveling expenses to the capital. Definitely give her the 1,000 gold. We want to be on her good side, and we want to help advance her little side quest. In addition, I recommend buying the Baleful Nails accessory from her. And some people might scoff at the value proposition here, but the Baleful Nails, they're only 1 defense, but they also grant plus 10 strength and plus 10 magic. For this particular character, I don't care about the magic, but plus 10 strength is nothing to shake a stick at this point in the game. Obviously, diminishing returns starts to kick in on that pretty big time as we get further in. Also, between episodes, I completed the Floral Delivery quest, so that's all wrapped up as well. And now we are back in Cassardis once again, the starting town, to figure out what's going on with this well here.
Gives me chills just to think of it. Ah!
Yeah, he's got well trubs. There's some noises down there. We're going to go figure out what's going on. I already know what's going on. It's lizard men. Obviously, I hope it goes without saying, but lizard men in your well is not what you want. I also did some equipment upgrades so that my main pawn has some armor, as you can see on him. And I did upgrade his sword as well, and then I took his sword as a hand-me-down. Did not have enough money to fully upgrade both swords, but also, at this point, I'm honestly just trying to skate by. Make sure we kill the rats. I think I have a quest for that.
Was the victim of a monster.
Cries from within.
There we go.
I'll take that.
Did have a rat quest. I'm going to duck out and replace Rook really quick, and then we'll come right back down. Okay, and we are right back at it, welcoming Alita to the group. I like to have my 2 public pawns as mages. Yeah, there's a lizard man down there. There we go. Yeah, let's just shoot fire at him from up here. That sounds good to me. Get him, team. So yeah, I like to have 2 mages here. Through most of the game, actually. I think that's a good balance, with the assumption that myself and my main pawn are both melee, or physical, more precisely. There we go. See, that's get some fire on them. But yeah, that's why I like that having mages. Just the fire is so strong. Elemental damage, magic damage, I should say, is so strong And in addition,
It flees.
I feel like it's a lot easier for people to twink out mages in the early game than physical fighters. So these two both have very, very strong weapons and really good spells. But that'll do it. We're going to pick up here and then head outside. I should note that we did have to take an alternate exit since we jumped down to fight the lizard men and couldn't get back up that same way. But nevertheless, the path is straightforward and there aren't any enemies either. So just took a little bit of time.
You've slain the monsters of the well, have you? I said,
Alright, so we turn this in.
masterfully done.
1500 XP, which takes us to level 10. Which is perfect. So level 10 is our last level at fighter. Now is the time we change to warrior. Same is going to be true for our pawn here, Honestman, but he's a little short of level 10 right now. There are two places that I know of where we can change our vocation. One is the capital city, and the other is by way of the docks here. But we need it to be nighttime. So we're going to rest at the inn until nightfall. Now, heading to the docks at night, there's a mysterious woman.
Care at the water's edge, master. Many boats. You can see me. Then you are one known to the dragon, bound within the eternal region. I have dire need of the Arisen's strength. Please, sir, you have my eternal thanks. You speak now to a shadow.
So she can whisk us off to an island.
I ask you, is that the fate you've chosen of your own will? You are Arisen. We stand now on Bitterblack Isle, far as sea from the cove we departed. I would ask you to explore its depths.
Indeed. So she whisks us away to Bitterblack Isle, which is a place that we have absolutely no business being this early in the game. But there's loot to be had.
I sensed you in the distance and called to you
So
for help.
she's really short on details.
I knew somehow.
Basically, there's just
I
this
used
place,
to.
and
You
she
could
wants
not
us to go
wish
in
the
there,
one who
because
dwells below.
I guess she can't be bothered.
Just as I know my role here is to aid you in that pursuit.
But as I said, there's loot to be had, and we're going to check the notice board here. We're going to take all of it. So we'll do that. Oh, and almost forgot. Most
I am
importantly,
Should you? I shall aid you however I can. For there
change
is a
vocation.
fight.
Yes. So now we want to get into warrior. And the reason we want to get into warrior is because warrior is going to give us the best stat growth for what we are trying to accomplish. And what I am trying to accomplish is to make an extremely capable physical damage fighter. That's not to say melee, because I do envision switching to ranged, or at least having ranged at my disposal at some point in time. But warrior is going to give us a great balance of hit points, strength, and defense. Assassin would be the best for just pure strength, but you end up cutting yourself short on defense and hit points. So the game plan is, first 10 levels were fighter, and levels 11 through 100 will be warrior, and then I switch to assassin for 101 to 200. The level cap is 200. So let's get into warrior here. And the same is going to be true for our pawn here, but he's not quite there yet. As I mentioned earlier, he's just a little more XP. So the good news is that I was able to keep all of my same armor, so I'm good to go there. Bad news is I do not have a weapon that I can wield as a warrior. I need a two-handed weapon, and I don't have any. That's okay. I was not really planning on attacking anything anyway, since that would probably be death. But what we're going to do, well, we've got a checklist of items here, carefully curated. And some might call this a suicide run. I would not characterize it that way. This is a strategic expedition. And in service of this expedition, there's a few items you want to make sure you have. First being these lift stones. I have 3 of these that were gifted to me in the magical chest. If you don't have any, you can pick some up through chests along the way here, but you do want to have some. And this is going to allow you to basically teleport out of this place. Getting to where we want to go is going to be hard enough. Getting back out, better if we spare ourselves that burden. In addition, since I'm going to be trying to run past a lot of stuff, whatever meats you may have, so I have some beast steak, some fish. These are important because they recover stamina, and you need stamina to run. So I have a bunch of that stuff on hand. So we're going to head on in. And I'm genuinely a little curious here on
these words, all who enter this place.
The enemies.
Do not think. Just set one foot in front of the other, and by the Maker's love, keep swinging.
The moonlight lends this place an otherworldly feel.
There's going to be some wolves. And I can just run through here. That's plan A. But I do want Honestman to level up once. And I'm curious if my mages can handle these guys. Alita is definitely getting the worst of it right now, but I just need to get some fire off on him, perhaps. She did put a dent in him with that fire. There we go, there's a kill. Let's go, team. There we go. So he hit level 10. We're going to get out of here so he can change vocations. Certainly we want to try to optimize his stat growth, the same as with our main character here. And then while we're back here, I picked up enough discipline to be able to get Bastion, which greatly reduces physical damage. So we definitely want that. And we're going to go ahead and pick up Upward Strike for our main pawn here. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, clearly I could kind of go slow and steady and fight these guys, let the mages do the heavy lifting, but we are going to do the fast way, where we just run through. Watch out for the snakes.
It seems this place is host only to those with some tie to the world.
So we now have 2 people with no weapons, but we're going to remedy that pretty soon here. Yeah, that's death right there. We definitely do not want to fight death. So we're just going to run away like you do. Running away. Just running away. Nice mutton chops, dude.
Welcome, good Arisen. 3 days this one. A week, perhaps. A favourite game of mine, guessing the lifespan of those who enter these halls. Nothing personal, mind. And rest easy, friend. 3 score guesses here now have yet to hit the mark once.
Charming. So this is Duskmoon Tower, which is good because it's basically a safe place.
Someone's looking for me. Then this bit is home to An honest... Now, will you have a look?
Now, this guy offers a variety of interesting services, many of which we cannot take advantage of just yet.
Wouldn't it be then?
He does have stuff for warriors, but we're going to be getting better stuff than this anyway. That is the plan. He does have some nice stuff we cannot afford. So do note that, I suppose.
No doubt.
Okay, so that was one of the quests we picked up off the board in the front, is find somebody down here. And we found someone. Great. So having made it through that prior section safely, we now go back in. What we want to do is go back to where Death spawned. He's not there now. He's gone now. There is an ogre and some other goblinoids here. We're not terribly interested in them. What we are interested in is this chest back here. Bitterblack novelty. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get a silver chest piece, which should be a very good armor for us, I believe. There it is. And now we get the hell out of here. Nobody's taking them. We're running away. So a second time was the charm. Once again, got what I was after. Unfortunately, we did lose a comrade there. We can get him back, though, but not right away. We have our prize here, our silver chest plate. It's not like crazy, but again, it's not like super difficult to get either. So this gets us up to 280, so plus 9 physical, as well as plus 2 piercing resist, which is arguably more important. But nevertheless, upgrade for our main character, and looks better too. So in Duskmoon Tower, there are a bunch of chests around here. We're going to wait with most of them because we're going to be coming back this way. The one that we care about, however, is up here in the corner. And this is another one that's sort of optional, but what we're hoping for here is a skeleton key, which we just got. We'll use that shortly. And we want to go... So we came down the stairs right there and ran past this door to get to the chest in the corner. This is the door we want, though. The Ward of Regret. So there's going to be enemies around the corner here. So what we want to do is try to get to the treasure. And the treasure is the very first room on the left here. Requires a skeleton key to get through this door. And then this chest right here. And that is what we wanted. Triple tooth. That took me a handful of tries. And as you can see, that's a double-handed weapon with 360 base strength. We are going to give that to our pawn for now. And we're going to get a second one in a moment here is the plan. Go. So the rest of these guys, we're just going to get past. And we sort of want to hang right. Ooh, forgot about the bats. That's okay. Just keep running. Grab that collectible. Ooh, lots of skelemans. It's alright, we're fine. Everything's fine. Just keep sort of doing right-hand rule until you get to the door. Oh, we lost our pawn. That's okay.
Leave it to me.
So, similar to like we did in that first section going back into the garden, here we go back into this zone. And the very first chest here on the right-hand side We want to get another triple tooth here. There we go. So there we go. Now I have one as well. I'm not planning on using it, but just in case. So the Midnight Helix here is the most difficult part of what we're trying to accomplish. This is going to get ugly. But I'm going to start by just sprinting across. And just kind of make our way around. And this away. There's a chest on the left here. We want a Bitterblack armor level 1. Perfect. And the next order of business is to ascend this area. Sort of a spiraling staircase, which is going to be difficult because we have mages targeting us that can basically one-shot us. So this is where I wish I had my full complement of companions to help run interference. But we'll see how we do. I think we're going to start by basically resetting the area, returning to the entrance. Because they are definitely onto us. Okay, so what we want to do is, once again, get to the left here. There's a way up. Of course, there's guys trying to murder us. And as you can see, we can kill them. That's not to say that we want to make a habit out of engaging the enemies here. We definitely do not. But if we need to knock them out of their spells like so, we can. And I'm out of stamina and life. Go. Give me a smack. That's not what we need. We need to keep going. Super close to being out of stamina again. Hopefully I didn't mistime that. Yeah, I did. But no, we're good. Get up there. There's the key. And now we use one of these lift stones and get the heck out of here. There's a chest like right next to me. Not even gonna risk it.
What meaning do you suppose those stones hold?
There we go. Then we can hit up this stone here to get our buddies back. So we just save up and rest up, manage our inventory a little bit, and we head back in. And the good news is the worst is behind us. Getting to the top of the Midnight Helix and getting the Void Key at the top is the hard part. Back in Duskmoon Tower, we want to head back down to the first level. And there's going to be a door where we can use the Void Key that we picked up. Right here. And that brings us to the Vault of Defiled Truth here.
It's meaningless. The lot of it is bad.
And things look real bad. We're just going to run through. Actually, what was this? Grab that.
Assume the enemy lurks around every corner.
And when we find the water, we go straight. We don't turn. Because there's a way up in the corner here. Drop down. Go. Now this chest right here, there's a particular weapon Yeah, Rooted Gloom. So that only took me 2 tries. I'm not sure if it's worth it. As you can see, it's less strength, but much more magic. And the reason is because it's dark elemental. If it was fire or holy, I would think that it's amazing. But dark? I'm not sure how useful that actually is, quite frankly. But this is another one that's super easy to acquire. It's in a low risk area here. So I'm going to grab it just in case. Just in case it comes in handy. The more important reason for this particular route, however, is the chest on the left over here, which we want to be a Bitterblack armor level 1, which it is. Perfect. And certainly grab that as well since we're here. Then we want to head through the narrow hallways here to get to the main room in the back.
Look there, a cockatrice.
And it's just a whole party back here. And I'm almost out of stamina, so I'm going to top myself up a little here so I can keep running. And this is another one where I think it makes sense just to get to the door. So here we have a good save point. And this is basically home free at this point if you're smart. I'm not smart, however, so I'm going to go back in because there's a couple more things. And we want to head to the left here. There is a stairwell, and there's a boulder that gets pushed down the stairwell. Make sure you don't run out of stamina, like I just did. Now, there is treasure at the top of the stairwell here, but having cleared the goblins like this, I think it makes sense to run back through and get out of here again to make another save point. So we don't have to redo this. So we just gotta get past this guy without dying. No problem. Looks like he might have petrified some goblins there too.
Cockatrice.
And once again, we head to the left. Try to get our party with us. And there's going to be one goblin up here. He's right next to the chest. We are going to walk past the chest for now, though. Ooh, see the combat music died down? I think we can make a save point here. And we can, which is amazing. So now, we just want to save scum this until we get a piece of armor out of this chest. Not that one. And that's what we wanted. Divine Surcoat. And once again, this is not game breaking, right? So this is pretty much optional. It's plus 8 defense versus my existing setup. Plus 10 magic defense, but that's not really as big of a draw as the regular defense. It does decrease my dark resistance, which isn't great. But those are the breaks. I still feel like it's a pretty good armor just for the defense. So it does reduce striking resistance as well. -1 on that net, which isn't great. But in any case. And then Honestman over here gets the Vagabond armor as a hand-me-down. One more save point here. And then the last thing we're after up here is this chest.
This looks interesting.
Okay, that was a very nice surprise. That was a Bitterblack weapon level 1. That's not actually what I was after. I was after the armor,
I'll take that.
but I already have 2 armors. I successfully got 2 level 1 armors. And the weapon there is actually a rare chance. So I feel extremely lucky that I got it. And there we go, back to the Gutter of Misery. And this is another zone that I think is safe. And you just go up the stairs here to the left, which brings us to the Warrior's Respite, or Respite, whichever you prefer. And first thing I'm going to do is jump into the healing waters, just because that's what you do. There are some treasures around. There's one that we care about. Here's our buddy again. More quests. And up in the attic here, this green thing, Moonbeam gem. That's what brought us all this way. That's sort of what the fuss is about. We're going to use that shortly. But there's other treasures. Oh, and a lift stone. So if you're running low, we can use that lift stone to portal out of here. And down in the basement, there's a chest. And this is another one. We're looking for a novelty level 2. There we go. That took a few tries, but novelty level 2. Now, before we exit, there is one more spot. Back into the Gutter of Misery. We're going to go downstairs. And again, this particular zone is safe. At least the upper level is safe, put it that way. We're heading to the lower level. And the back corner here, there's a hole in the wall. Get my torch out. Lantern. Now what we want to do here is go left once we hit the bottom. So there's a little bit of a T intersection here. We go left, hug the wall. Yeah, there's going to be stuff trying to kill us. And get through there. This is the chest we want. Bitterblack gear level 2. And there's a bunch of bad stuff happening. So now we leave. Lift stone, yes.
What meaning do you suppose those stones hold?
There we go.
Leave it to me.
Safe and sound. Now, part of the payoff here, let's take care of those Bitterblack armor level 1s, or at least one of them. So we're going to request purification here. I'll do one of these. It is 4,200 crystals. We have just enough. Okay, I'm not going to lie. This is not what I wanted, but it's not all bad. The Immortal's helmet is very, very, very good. That ends up being like a plus 64 defense for Honestman here. And it gets rid of the dunce cap, so there's that. It also continuously restores health of the wearer. There we go, making the best of it. Really what we want is the Assault Greaves. I do still have one more armor to give it another try, but I don't have enough Rift Crystals. So we'll need to try to save up for that. And there's a bunch of chests in here still, so it's possible I can pull enough together. In any event, back to Duskmoon Tower one last time here, at least for now. We have picked up that Moonstone, which is going to let us open one of the special treasure doors in this area. And the one we want is over here on the right hand side. Which gives us the Ring of Perseverance. The Ring of Perseverance increases the discipline earned by the wearer. So this will allow us to accumulate discipline more rapidly, which should help quite a bit. Now, certainly someone could debate if that's really worth all this trouble, and that's fine. But, like I said, I'm just trying to min-max here a little bit. I think that's going to help me out quite a lot. The other treasures are all very interesting options for mages or ranged fighters. But since neither me nor my main pawn are a mage nor a ranged fighter, at least not yet, I think the ring is the way to go. And that's going to be a wrap. I'm going to spend a little bit more time here, pick up some of the chests that I left lying around, try to pull together more rift crystals. And next time we're going to pick up back at the encampment to continue on with the main storyline. Until then, thank you all so much. Please like and subscribe. This has been Honestman and Mary Abernathy, and we will see you next time with more Dragon's Dogma.
What's that?